Good afternoon, Flosstube. I'm Lynette.
And I'm the little one.
And we're at homesteading on the home front. This is Flosstube number 46. So that means it's my golden Flosstube episode. Do you want to explain to everyone what a golden birthday is?
Sure. A golden birthday is like if you were born on the 2nd, when you turn 2, that would be your golden birthday.
Or if you were born on the 14th, your golden birthday would be when you turned 14. Mm-hmm. So anyway, 46, we're doing our 46th episode. It's the golden episode. That's what I'm calling it. It is Wednesday, August 7th. The sun is shining now, but it has been showering. So who knows if you'll hear the rain or not. But it's been way too long since we did a Flosstube. We actually filmed one about 3 weeks ago when we were in Newport, and it was like, 13 minutes long or something. So we put the kibosh on that, and now we have lots to show you, so I think it'll be a better episode.
I mean, I still have the same amount of stuff to show.
Yeah, but you have more progress. So, we'll get right on into it. I have 2 FFOs to show you. So the first one, you haven't seen in a long time. I stitched this last fall. This is Quaker Handwork by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle, I believe. Many of us had done a stitch along with this. And I am doing this in honor of my 3rd great grandmother. Her birth and death dates. And long about this time last year, I was just about finished with this, but not quite. And I learned that the special theme for this year's fair was Grandmother's Attic. So I knew that I wanted to enter this into my grandmother's attic. So I finished this sometime in September last year. I think it was mid to late September. And I finally found a frame for it. The original frame that I intended to use for it didn't work exactly. The math should have worked. I did the math. But either the fabric shrunk when I dyed it, or it wasn't quite an even weave, or, you know, such is life. So I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I remembered this frame, which I found at a thrift store in Ohio, Amish country, before StitchCon. I paid a whopping $3 for it. It was, I don't know if you can not, it was, I don't even know what color it was, but I painted it with the red to get it to match.
The back's lovely.
I need to add the brown paper on it so that it's a little prettier. And our fair rules state that you have to be able to hang your work with, there has to be a wire. So hubby's going to have to help me install the wire.
I have to do one for my reading sampler too.
Yep. But this one's done. And then my other FFO, I did not expect this to be an FFO. I'll talk about why in a minute. But anyway, here it is. It is Penny Pumpkin by Scarlet House. Pretty sure it's Scarlet House. I don't even have the thing with me. I started this before StitchCon, and I got all of this stuff filled in. And then I worked on it in the hotel the night we left StitchCon, and got most of the black outline done. And then so when we came home, it was just a matter of doing these little things around here. And so that didn't take long at all. The pumpkin is special because I got this last October when Donna Ray came to visit. She came to New England, and we went to the Christmas tree shop, which any of you from the East Coast will recognize the Christmas tree shop. For those of you not from the East Coast, it's kind of like, how would you explain it? Like a TJ Maxx, Home Goods, but cheaper in price and quality. It's always been one of my favorite stores. Anyway, so I got the pumpkin. It was just a white pumpkin. There was nothing underneath it. I did kind of whitewash it more to bring out the white of the pumpkin because it was more of a tan. I added the orange rickrack, and we're good. I did not use the called for colors on this one. This is the project, if you remember, I used the Sulkies from Kathy Haberman's, whatever her rabbit butt project was. She had colors in a pack for that, and I thought they would be good for this. So mostly those are those colors. I had to add in the black, and I think I had to add in a brown or something, but there we go. I love it. And I decided, originally I was going to use magnets, but I decided that I'm not going to put another project on here. It's not like a multi-seasonal thing where I'm taking one down for spring and putting another summer up. This is going to be just fall. So I just glued it on there, and I'm very thrilled with the way it came out.
You'll get to hang it up soon.
I will get to hang it up soon. So that is it for FFOs. Both of those will be entered into the fair along with a long list of others that I need to get finishing. So hopefully in the next episode or two I will have more FFOs to show you.
Maybe I'll have one too.
Maybe. All right, so on to FOs, which I also have. Do you have any FOs you want to talk about? Oh, show them.
So these are kind of FFOs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
That's okay. They're needle minders that I've been stitching. This one has a little heart trail. And then these two are some sweets. And then these I haven't put on a button yet. They're just stitched.
So she's getting ready for the... Oh,
this one didn't get pushed in all the way.
Oh, we'll have to fix that. She's getting ready for the next needle-minder swap she attends.
I don't know when I'll get a chance to stitch on more.
That's all right. You got time. All right, so my FOs. First one is my July Prairie Schooler. This is from Farmer's Market. This is especially exciting to me because for the first... Well, I shouldn't say first year. I attempted to grow eggplants when we lived in Virginia, and I didn't have much luck. So I started some from seed this year, and they were so slow to take off. I think it was because we had a cooler than normal spring. But the other day, I happened to look, and I had a real eggplant growing. It's about this big, and it's beautiful purple. So I was thrilled about that. And so here is my July finish. I am not sure if I will be doing an August Prairie Schooler. It's just gonna... I'm almost sure I'm not, just because it's gonna be so crazy trying to get stuff ready for the fair. So that's my first FO. My second FO... If you were in the Prim Stitchers Society group, or friends with me on Facebook, you will know what's coming.
Do you need help holding it up?
I may need help holding it up.
Do I have to get out of my seat?
You may. Right. We have a finish on His Eye is on the Sparrow. Hold on.
Stand on the chair.
Okay, pull your side down. There we go. I think it's all in.
I mean, it's massive, but it's smaller than I expected.
All right, I'm going to move around so that I can be closer to the camera and talk so people can hear me. So,
I'll hold it up.
For those of you who are new, I started this in May of 2018 with three other friends. And it was just kind of, we started together, we decided that we would go at our own pace. And so it took me 11 months to stitch this half. I started up here and I went down like this by pages. And then I decided I would do a monogamous mania. And so for May, I did these right here. And then I decided that if I could do 2 pages in June and 2 pages in July, I would be done in time to get this framed for the fair, which is Labor Day weekend. So that was my goal. And so I did that. I was a little behind in June, but caught up quickly in July. And then I realized that my best friend Stacy, she and I we had a page and a half to go at like the same time. So I said, we have to finish this together. So what we did was we each finished everything, and then we left our initials and the date. And I went over her house the other day and we put our initials and date in and finished it. And so now I get to iron it and stretch it and lace it and frame it for the fair.
Good luck.
I do already have a frame. I got a frame, it was last year at a flea market. I paid a whopping $10 for it. And I think it's going to work fine. It's not going to be the most fantastic frame. I think I would probably prefer something a little more substantial than the frame that I have, but that would also cost me substantially more dinero. And so we're just going to go with the $10 one. So yes, Sparrow's done. So anyway, because I knew that Sparrow was going to be finished in time for the fair, I was able to spend time on other projects. And so that's why I got the Penny Pumpkin done, because I knew Sparrow was going to be done. And so I actually finished Penny Pumpkin like before the end of July. And then it was time to work on other projects. So that brings us into whips. Do you want to talk about your whip?
Sure. My whip is not new. It's Sue Hillis's watermelon stack.
Autographed by Sue Hillis at StitchCon.
Yes. And this is what I've got so far. I've started on the pink inside border. I've got 3 watermelon done. I figured I'd do the border as I go so that it's not left for the end.
And we also know how that's going to be finished. We have a piece we bought last year at a yard sale for finishing it. So
it was like 50 cents.
Yep. So hopefully that'll work. We'll find out when you finish it up. Okay, so I have several other whips that got worked on. The first, it's been a while since you've seen this one. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I have this project that I am only working on when I am in Newport, Rhode Island. It was originally Old Man Tucket. Let me see if I can find the... I don't have it with me. Yes, I do. It's right here. So, this was originally Old Man Tucket by Little House Needleworks. It was sent to me by a lovely viewer. And I had always loved this piece, but I didn't know how I could personalize it. I knew I didn't want Nantucket, because I don't even know if I've ever been to Nantucket. So just about the time that I received this, I don't know if it was before or after, but it was around the same time, my husband got orders back to Newport, Rhode Island. We had met when he was stationed in Newport. It was his first duty station out of OCS in the Navy. And we got married and lived in Newport as newlyweds. And so we were very, very excited when he got orders back to Newport. And so I decided that this project was not going to be Nantucket. It was going to be Newport. So I am changing the wording a little bit. And obviously it's going to say Newport down below instead of Nantucket. Now I don't have all that much more to go on this project. I have the bottom word here, right here. I have this bottom part and then I have some of the flowers in the border. Not a lot at all. So I thought about working on this and finishing up in time to enter into the fair. The problem with that is, number one, it would have been a deadline, and stitching for deadlines is no fun. Second of all, I'm not going back to Newport. Probably it'll be December, I think, by the time we get back to Newport, because it's marching band season, and that means the kids are busy every weekend. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a while till we get back to Newport. So I decided that I would not try to finish it for this year's fair. It'll wait. The fair will still be there next year. And so I will work on that the next time we go to Newport. Hopefully I'll finish it, because we only have probably 11 months, no, less than that, probably 9 or 10 months before my husband is not in Newport anymore. So that's old Man Tucket.
I remember the day Dad told you he was getting orders to Newport again.
I was a little overwhelmed.
And you had just woken up. I think it was the day before school and Dad was working out, and then you came up the stairs and he told you and you started crying.
I did start crying. I was very excited. Okay, so now that Sparrow is done, I am going back to work on my Sunday project. Ooh. My Sunday project is Heartstring Sampleries Never Let You Go. And I've talked about this one before. I'm changing things up to make it fit into a standard size frame. I'm not taking it out of the Q-snaps, people. This is what we got. So as you can see, I have centered this motif right here. I am making this symmetrical, and I'm working on finishing the outside border. And once I do that, I'll give you a better sneak peek at it. But suffice it to say that I am working on this on Sundays again. For a long while, I was concentrating on Sparrow because I wanted to get that done. So that's my Sunday stitch. And then another thing that I've been working on is my StitchCon start, which is Plum Street Heritage Sampler. I am not stitching this whole thing. I'm only doing the border. This is going to be my husband's retirement tribute, if you will. So I'm stitching the outside border, and then I'm gonna smack a picture of him in his dress whites in the middle, and I'm gonna personalize down here with his Navy information and the dates he entered service and the date he retired, etc., etc. So this one is actually going way quicker than I thought it would. It's 4 pages. That's all there is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages to the chart. And basically, I have finished the border of the first page. Well, the inside of the border. I am saving this inside outline and this outside outline. I'm going to a retreat in November. And I figured that would be fantastic brainless stitching that I didn't have to count. It's not filling in. Filling in is also great brainless stitching. But I figured I'd work on the border at that retreat and get some headway on that. So that's my third whip.
Wow.
I was always a one at a time person before Flosstube. Whip number 4. Autumn's Fruitful Labor. If you remember, I had stitched a lot of this in preparation for filling in for StitchCon. So I had outlined her white apron, I had outlined her skirt, I had outlined this, I don't know what this is, a basket, a carrot, holding a pumpkin, I don't know. And I had done all of this so that I could fill in the brown. Suffice it to say that I did not get nearly as much stitched at StitchCon on this as I thought I would. I made the mistake of making this my Thursday project that I worked on Thursday at StitchCon, and most of Thursday was spent like just talking to people and seeing people and hugging them and chatting, and I didn't get a lot of stitching done. So a lot of this top is done because I worked on that before StitchCon to get down here to where those areas are that I wanted to shade in. So since StitchCon and since finishing Sparrow, I was able to finish her apron, I was able to finish her dress, I did a couple strands of this color, and I've been working mostly on the brown. So this brown is going to drive me bananas. So what I've decided to do is do one strand of brown, and then I can work on whatever I want up here that's not brown. So it's kind of breaking it up for me and making it less miserable. So that is Autumn's Fruitful Labor and my last whip, I think. No, I do have another whip, but yeah. So the Scenic Farm that I'm working on, that was my winter project, or my snow day project last winter, and it didn't snow here very much. So I didn't get to work on it a ton. However, in preparation for this year's fair, they announced next year's special theme. And next year's special theme is called Down on the Farm. So that means that my goal now is to finish Scenic Farm for next year's fair. Now, we both know that come March, I'm not going to want to do any stitching on a winter scene. I'm going to be done with snow because I think we're in for it this year. Last year was so mild, I think we're in for it. And so I'm going to be done with snow, which means really I want Scenic Farm finished by, I would love to say mid-March. Maybe even, hey, let's say the first day of spring. I would love to have Scenic Farm finished by the last day of winter. That's a good goal. Mm-hmm. Which means that that's going to have to be my concentration project in January and February. I would also like to say December, but I think I'm going to be in the mood for Christmas stitching in December. And so I think probably if I pretty much do nothing else in January and February, then Scenic Farm can get done. And we'll see how I feel in December. If I want to stitch on it, I will. So yeah, 5 whips for me. I finished Sparrow, and I finished the pumpkin. So I was up to 7.
I have 2.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So, well, that kind of goes nicely into plans, because I was telling you about my plans for January and February. Immediate plans, I am going to keep working on...
Ooh, should I get the project from my birthday start?
If you want to. I am going to keep working on Autumn's Fruitful Labor. I would love to have this done by the end of September. And I think that's actually very doable, because if you remember right, all of this is basically stitched except for this and the brown. And once that's done, this part is going to go really quick because it's just words. So I think this is going to be done sometime in September. And if that's the case, then I want to start working on the chock full harvest jar. It's all kitted up. It's all ready to go. I have several pieces in mind for finishing it. So I would love to get that done this harvest season. And then I'll still be working on Never Let You Go every Sunday. That'll be my Sunday stitch still. And we'll take it from there. I do have some ideas for Christmas, but I'll talk about that later on. I will be starting Savior's Praise sometime in 2020 with Donna Ray at Flannel Jammy's Farm, and Amy and Lorraine wants to stitch it, so I think we're going to start. We haven't narrowed down a start date yet, but sometime in 2020, hopefully after March. we will be starting that. All right, so what's your plan?
I haven't unwrapped this, but I think we got this from Cindy's cross stitch.
I think so too.
A while ago, and I decided it would be my birthday start. It's a little fall piece, and theoretically it should be fast and easy to stitch. But with band, you never know.
Now, are you going to start that on your birthday?
Yes.
Okay, regardless of whether or not you finish watermelons?
Yes.
Okay, so that will be an early September start, mid-September.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting because...
I have a football game on my birthday.
Yes, you do have a football game on your birthday. Yeah, the amount of spare time that this one has is about to be reduced exponentially. So we'll see how that goes.
Mondays, and Wednesdays are all that's left.
Yep. Some Sundays.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays and Wednesdays are her free day. All right, so we're at 26 minutes. I think we should wrap it up. Hopefully it will not be nearly as long before you see us next time.
I mean, it might be for me.
You might not see her until Christmas, but whatever.
Merry Christmas in case I don't see you.
I will be back before then. All right. Fair winds and following seas, Flosstube.
Bye.